Hello, welcome to the weekly stream where we look at different English language exams, look at different exam papers, and I give you some tips and strategies of how to work with them. So I hope that everything is fine and you can see and hear me well. My name is Kate Bowes. I'm an English tutor. I give lessons online. If you need any extra help, if you would like to have lessons with me, please feel free to contact me. I can help you prepare for any exam of any level from A1 to C2. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask your questions in the chat, or if you watch this as a recording later, you can also ask questions in the comments. Oh yeah, and of course you can also find links to my social media in the description to this video. So today we are looking at the exam called ISE ISE I, which is a B1 level exam by Trinity College London. In the previous two streams we looked at task 1 and task 2. So this whole paper is called reading and writing. So last time we looked at task 2. I kept the notes here. The first two tasks are about reading. You read texts and you answer some questions, or you put some letters in the right places. You choose which text some questions refer to, or you need to fill in gaps, but there wasn't really any writing yet. So the next two tasks, task 3 and 4, are about writing. So you have to write something. And I know this can be difficult. This is usually one of the more difficult skills. Usually people who are quite good at reading can have some problems with writing. So we are going to look at how to do these tasks in detail today. So task 3 here is reading into writing. What does it mean, reading into writing? Well, it means that here we are not just going to write about whatever topic. It's connected to the reading we did. Reading into writing. That's why I kept all the notes here. So we will have to use these texts, the texts we read in the previous stream. If you haven't read them yet, then well, I recommend you watch the previous stream, or you download the text. The link to download all the official materials is in the description. So these texts, A, B, C, and D, we had 4 texts. So we are going to write something using these texts, but of course not just copy. We are not going to copy anything. We are just going to use some ideas from those texts. So first of all, we need to understand what type of task we have, what we need to do in this task, what kind of text we need to write. Then I'll also show you how the examiners give you scores for this task, And any task you do, you need to understand how the examiners give you scores. If you don't understand that, you can't be successful. You can't get the best score. Even if your English is good, you always need to check what exactly the task wants and what the examiners want to see. And finally, I will also show you an example of this task done. I wrote a little text. I really tried to keep it to B1 level, which is a bit hard, but I did my best, and I will show you how I did this task and how I would do it if I had to take this exam. So first of all, as I said, let's look at what the task says. So in this particular task, we need to write an article. Write an article for your school magazine. 100 to 130 words about why more students should learn languages. So first of all, we need to write an article. What is an article? For your school magazine, yeah, a school magazine. So an article is a type of text that you can read in a magazine, in a journal, maybe in on the internet, on some websites these days. You know, journalists write articles, but well, you know what an article is. You probably read a lot of articles in your life, but maybe you've never written one, and maybe you just feel, how do I write an article? What does it mean to write an article? What makes a text an article? So this is very important. In this particular task, we need to write an article, so it has to be this particular type of text. It's not an essay. If you write an essay, yeah, often teachers ask you to write essays in English. If you write an essay for this task, you are not going to get the best score, because this task doesn't want an essay, it wants an article. Yeah, you need to write an article. And word count 100 to 130 words. That's really not too many, right? It's quite a short article, because this is a B1 level exam. But still, it has to be an article. So in this exam, you don't always write articles. They ask you to write different types of text, and it's just luck. Sometimes you can get an article, sometimes they can ask you to write an essay or a review or some other type of text. But in this example paper, we get this task to write an article. So I'm going to show you their guidelines. Trinity College London guidelines on different genre of text, yeah, different types of text. This is again information from their official website, and you can download it and look at all the different types of text they ask you to write and what they want to see there. So essays, you can see letters, formal, informal, emails, and finally, yeah, articles, review and report. Well, we are not going to look at everything here, because our task today asks us to write an article. So we are only going to look at this genre here, yeah, article. So what do they tell us here? target reader. Target reader means the person who is going to read it. Well, not the real person, not the examiner, but imaginary. Yeah, someone imaginary. So if it's an article, who reads articles? Well, people who read some magazines or newspapers or journals or websites. Yeah, so here we have a reader of a newspaper, magazine, or website. In our case, if you remember, let me go back here. In our case, it's an article for a school magazine. So, who reads a school magazine? Well, probably people who go to school, yeah, teenagers, or maybe also teachers, but mostly students of school, yeah, school students. So, our target reader, the people who we address, the people who we write it for. We write it for students, for school students. Okay, so in our case, it's school students. Yeah, in our case. Again, articles can be very different types of articles. In our case, it's school students. We are writing for school students. Next, organization format. What do they want to see there? Now this is interesting. It says articles must have a title or headline. So again, be very careful with this. Must. Yeah, just a second. It's not what I wanted to do. Just want the normal pen. Yeah, like that. Must have a title or headline. So again, maybe if you've never written an article, maybe this is new for you, because often you don't need a title when you write something for your teacher. But here you are not writing for the examiner. You pretend to write for school students, yeah? You're writing for school students, for a school magazine. So they want an article. They may have a subtitle, subheading, or start with a rhetorical question. So they may. What does it mean, may? May is not the same as must. Must, this is definitely. You have to do it. You must do it. But they may have a subtitle. If you want, you can put a subtitle or a subheading there. If you want, you can start with a rhetorical question. I hope you know what this means, rhetorical question. A question that doesn't get an answer. You don't expect an answer. Yeah, you can't expect an answer when you're writing an article for a lot of people. You just ask a question. Have you ever done this thing? But of course, each person reading will answer in their head. Yeah, and they will all have different answers and you will not know what they thought about it. So this is a rhetorical question. So you may do it. You may do it if you want to. Articles should be clearly organized into paragraphs. So we need paragraphs. And we need an introduction, main body, and conclusion. Articles should also include the writer's opinion. So what we think, we are the writer, what we think about this topic. And often have a persuasive element. So we tell them what we think about the topic, and we sort of say like you should do this. Persuasive element means you say something like you should do this. You recommend something to someone, or you don't recommend, you say don't do it. The conclusion should sum up the main point of view that the writer wants to express. But then again, keep in mind that our article is going to be very, very short at this level. This is general guidelines for all the exams they have, up to C2 level. Of course, if we are writing something for B1 level, it's not going to be very detailed. It's going to be very short, so we can't do everything. But we will try. We will try and keep this format that they want. Next, type of language. Articles should always be engaging, so sort of like interesting to read. And the opening lines should catch the reader's interest. Catch the reader's interest. So the first lines, the introduction, it should be interesting. Articles often contain language of description with examples and anecdotes, so you can give some examples. It's a good idea to say something, about something from your life, from your experience, if you can. Engage the reader. Language should be varied and colorful. So you should try and use different words and interesting words, like maybe phrasal verbs, for example. The register depends on the topic. So register, it means formal or informal, how formal it is. So it can be formal or informal, it depends. Alright, so we more or less understand what they want to see. And I'm going to show you, so that you just have an idea of what an article might look like. I'm going to show you an example of an article here. It's not from Trinity College London, it's from BBC. Sorry, not from BBC, from British Council. Again, just some file that you can download for free if you would like to. This is not exactly the type of article that we are going to write, because this article is longer. It's longer than 130 words. But just to give you an idea, you can have a look at this article here. So it has a title in green. In green you see the title. It starts with a title, and it's quite catchy. It's interesting. The happiest days of your life? Question mark. So it's a title, and also it's a question. It's a rhetorical question as well. School days should be a happy time in a young person's life. What can make people's lives a misery during this time then? So questions, using some examples. A friend of mine in pink, using expressing your opinion. Talking about your opinion. Unfortunately, it means you don't like it. Personally, It's your own opinion, hopefully what you hope for. So you can, again, we're not going to look at it very long, just to give you an idea what an article looks like. So let's go back to our task. So our article has this topic, why more students should learn languages. Let me show it to you. Why more students should learn languages. So it's about language learning, and it makes sense because this is reading into writing. We need to use the texts, these texts A, B, C and D from task 2, and we know that they were about language learning. Again, if you haven't watched the previous stream where we talked about those tasks, you can watch it. So next, the task says use the information you read in text A, B, C and D. Again, we need to use this information from these texts. And what are we going to write about? So you have 3 bullet points here, 3 bullet points. Explain how language learning will help students in the future. Suggest how learning a foreign language could help their performance at school. And advise students on useful methods for learning foreign languages. So 3 bullet points. So in fact, you don't need to just think something up. They already tell you what you need to write about. You need to write about these 3 points. You have a topic, why more students should learn languages. You have 3 points you need to talk about. You have 4 texts that you can use for information, and you should use. And it's only 100 to 130 words. So actually it's probably not that bad. If you are scared of writing, maybe now you can feel a bit better about it. Of course, do not copy from the texts. Obviously, we cannot just take sentences from the text. We should take ideas. We should take some information, but not whole sentences. We need to use our own words. And then we've got this space here called planning notes. You should plan your article before you start writing. Think about what you're going to write and make some notes to help you in this box. So note that no marks are given for these planning notes. You can write whatever you want. This is your space. The examiners are not going to look at this box. You can use this box as your space for making some draft, for planning, anything. And next you will have to write your article. So this is what your examiner is going to read and give you your score for. So no marks are given for the planning notes, but what do they give marks for? It's important to understand what the examiner wants to see, what they give you marks for. And I'm going to show you. Maybe you will think this is some secret material that I got from well, who knows where. In fact, this is all in open access. Trinity College London official website has this file in open access. You can download it too and you can read it. It's not some secret information just for teachers. Well, teachers know that it exists and that you can download it, but you don't have to be a teacher to look at it. And usually all exams, whichever exam you're preparing for, if you're not preparing for ISE, if you're preparing for a different exam, you can always find some information about assessment, about how they give you scores, how they give you marks. So yeah, reading is objectively marked. You can see here reading is objectively marked through a specific to the task answer key. So for reading tasks, there was just one correct answer for each question. But reading into writing has a scale. Yeah, there is a special scale. Well, we are actually looking at the, I guess, at the wrong thing. Yeah, well, reading into writing, this one. Yeah, from foundation to ISE III. So a score from 0 to 4 is awarded for each of the 4 criteria. Well, let's find these criteria. You can find here ISE I, writing maximum 28 points. So this is two writing tasks. And here are the criteria that they use. There we go. That's the most interesting bit that we want to see here. Here are the criteria. The first criteria is just called reading for writing. Well, what does it mean? That you used the reading, you used the text that you read for your writing. You used some ideas from those texts. Yeah, next, task fulfillment. Well, we read the task. Yeah, we know what the task looks like. Yeah, this is the task. How do we make sure that we fulfill this task, that we do what they want here? Well, it's 100 and 130 words, and it's all of these bullet points, yeah, that we talk about, these bullet points. Next, organization and structure. So we want clear paragraphs. You can get it from here. Yeah, that your article must have a title. You need clear paragraphs, introduction, main body, conclusion, and your opinion. And finally, the last criterion here, language control. Well, this is basically your vocabulary and grammar. That you use appropriate vocabulary and grammar. Yeah, good vocabulary and grammar for level B1. Yeah, so it's B1 vocabulary and grammar, and so that it's also of the right register. So not too formal, not too informal. Well, we are writing for a school magazine. We need to remember this, for a school magazine for students. So what's the formality like? Well, probably not very formal, right? For school students, not very formal, but not too informal, of course. Just in the middle, or maybe a bit more informal. This is what we want here. All right. And here you can also read about how many points you need to get to pass the exam. Well, of course, remember that you don't have to get maximum points. You don't have to get maximum points to pass the exam. And there are also different levels of passing it. Well, which is I guess a topic for a different stream, like how they mark these exams and how many points mean what. Let's just concentrate on task 3 for now. So there are these 4 criteria, and you can get from 0 to 4 for each one. From 0 to 4. So the maximum is 4 times 4. That would be 16 points. You can get maximum 16 points for this task. All right then. Just let me check if there are any questions. All right, no questions from anyone, but do feel free to ask questions if you've got any. So, what do we do with this task now? How do we make sure to do this task well? Of course, we start with planning. So we have this planning notes here. Planning notes are very important. We need to start with planning. So we've got 3 bullet points. Let me just show you how I will do this particular task. So I've got the 3 bullet points, 1, 2, and 3. And I know that I need to use information from the texts. The text A, B, C, and D. So what I will do first is I try and look for some ideas in each text and write them down. So for point 1, explain how language learning will help students in the future. Where can I get ideas from? Well, D is about ways to learn a language. C is about music helping learning languages. B is about what language learning does to our brain. So it's text A. I will take it from text A. So here we had what? Personal interest, enjoyment, degree requirement, use in future career, future travel or study abroad, family background. So these are the ideas. Let me show you in a different color maybe. These are the ideas that I could use. So which ones are about the future? We are writing for students, for school students. So future what? Future career, yes. They don't have a career now. Future travel, maybe they will travel. Or degree requirement, study abroad, it's kind of the same idea. For studying, for going to university. And maybe we could also use these other ideas like family background and personal interest. So I will just put this down. I will start with writing this. So this is from text A. Make sure that you keep track of that. Text A. And the ideas are future career, career, university, studying at a university. What else did we have? Travel, to travel, future, what, just there was just enjoyment, I guess. Well, or like family background. I'll just keep these as like additional ideas. Family and pleasure. So basically these are the main ideas: career, university, and future travel. Or maybe like if family, talking to your family members in the future in different languages. Right, so this is for the first point, for this point 1. Now point 2. Suggest how learning a foreign language could help their performance at school. So now where can we get this information from? This is definitely not text A. In fact, it's, if you remember, it's from text B. In text B, they told us that scientists did some research and found out that our brain is like a muscle. We can exercise it. And language learning is an exercise for our brain. So it helps us become better at problem solving. Let me just remind you one more time. This, problem solving. Students score better in tests. If they know at least one foreign language. And they get better at maths, music, reading, and understanding vocabulary. Right, so I think this is great. This is what we want. So I will include this into my planning notes. So again, I want to mark down the text. It was from text B. And what did I get there? What ideas did I get? So you become better at problem solving, test scores become better as well. And different subjects like maths, music. So this is it. And finally, the third point: advise students on useful methods for learning foreign languages. So where can we get information on this point? So you could, first of all, you could say, well, text D here. This is basically when someone asked for advice. How do I learn a foreign language? What's a good way? And you've got lots of different advice here. So we can use this advice from text D. Well, let's see, what advice do we have? Go and live abroad. Talk to native speakers. Use the internet, use some websites. Films with subtitles. And maybe also English music. Well, not necessarily English in a foreign language. Yeah, English music. Well, she says that her friends do it. She doesn't like it, but it's a method, so why not? Right. So we can choose to put these down. Well, go and live abroad. Can we really recommend it? Well, maybe, but for school students, it's maybe a bit difficult for them to just go and live where they want. They can't really do it. So maybe it's not the greatest of all ideas, but we can still, well, for now, let's put it down. So from text D, I took, let's see, go and live abroad. Go and, well, okay, fine, I'll put and, just not to confuse anyone. Go and live abroad. What else did we have? Internet, use the internet. Oh, native speakers, of course. Well, it should be in the other order, but, well, it doesn't matter. Native speakers, talk to native speakers, yeah. What else did we have? Oh, let me quickly, let's remind ourselves. So, yeah, native speakers, use the internet. Films with subtitles and music, maybe. Well, films with subtitles. And maybe music, but she says it's not such a great way to learn a language. Well, now you can say, oh, that's fine, now I can write my text, but have you used all of the texts? So we've got text A, text B, text D. Now we need to use all of them. The way to do this task successfully is you want to refer to all the texts. You want to take some ideas from all the texts, from all four. So we also need to take something from text C. So what was text C about? So it was about music, helping you to learn a foreign language. If you hear words in a song, it's easier to remember them. Yeah. So where does this go? Is it how language learning will help students in the future? No. Could help their performance at school? No. Useful methods? Yes, this is a method. This is a method. So text C goes into number 3. Text C goes here. So what can we write here? Listen to songs. Listen to songs. And again, it's sort of similar to this idea here. Now we've got a lot of ideas. And we want to base our text around these ideas. Yeah. But remember that you have to write only between 100 and 130 words. So again here we have 100, 130 words. It's really not that much, not that many words. It's going to be quite a short article. So it's possible that you don't use all of these ideas. There are too many ideas here. Yeah. You need to choose something you want to use, but you need to make sure to use all of the texts So, for example, from text C, we only got one idea. We only got one idea. So it means that this idea, you have to use it. You have to use this idea. And then from text A, at least one idea from text A, at least one idea from text B, and at least one idea from text D. And the next thing you want to do is try and write some sentences. So these are going to be our paragraphs. These points 1, 2, 3, these bullet points here. So this is going to be a paragraph. This is going to be a paragraph. And this is going to be a paragraph. And you want to start with a title. Yeah, title. Want to start with an interesting title. And some introduction. Try and write a really short introduction. At this level, it doesn't have to be very long. Maybe it's just one sentence. But you need a short introduction, and then you write 1, 2, 3 paragraphs. And again, if you can, try and have some sort of a conclusion at the end, if you can. So this is how we do it. You just use the texts that you read in task 2 to help you get some ideas. Now just don't look at the texts again and write your own sentences. Use these ideas, but don't look at the text again. Don't copy any sentences. Write your own sentences using these ideas. So I would in fact advise you to try and write your own school article for a school magazine on this topic before I show you what I've got. So if you're watching this as a recording later, not right now, not live with me, then just pause it. Just pause it and take your time and try and write this text. But well, I hope those of you watching it as a recording have done it. So I'm going to show you what I've got, how I did this task. I've already prepared this in advance. I'm not saying that this is the perfect ideal way to do this or the only way. There are always multiple ways to do the same task. But here we go. This is my version. I really tried to keep it to B1 level, which is a bit difficult for me. So yeah, sorry if I sometimes use some words that are maybe difficult to understand for you. So I started with a title. Language learning can improve your future. Well, I think it's quite catchy. I'm not saying it's the best title. Maybe you can think of something better. I'm not a journalist, unfortunately. And I don't always know how to write great, catchy titles. But I tried. I think improving your future attracts your attention. If something can improve your future, you think, oh, maybe I need to read this. How can I improve my future? And of course, it has to be about the topic. So this is connected to our topic. So next I have an introduction. I start with a question, with a rhetorical question. Have you ever thought of taking up language learning? In fact, it's the best hobby choice you can make. So I try and engage the reader. I try and make it interesting. I try and make the reader want to continue reading. And then here are our points 1, 2, and 3. These 3 paragraphs here, these are basically the points that we had. So let's refer again to our task. First point, explain how language learning will help students in the future. So I try and explain. First of all, knowing a foreign language can help you in your future career. You could also choose to enter a foreign university or use your knowledge to speak to people when you travel. Besides, if you learn the native language of a family member, it will make them happy. So I explain why it's useful, how it can help you in the future. Well, do you agree that I explained it? I think I did. The next point. Point number 2. Suggest how learning a foreign language could help their performance at school. So I try and suggest that. So, secondly, research shows that learning foreign languages trains your brain. If you study languages, you will get better scores in tests and get better at different subjects, such as maths. So I explain how it improves your performance at school. Your performance at school, that means how well you do at school, how high your grades are. Yeah. So I explain here that it helps you to get better scores, better grades, and just get better at different subjects. And the final point here, they asked us to advise students on useful methods for learning foreign languages. So I try and do that. Here. Finally, here are some tips. Try to speak to native speakers or listen to songs. Some websites can be very helpful too. And I finish with just good luck. Now again, maybe it's not the ideal perfect text, but I did try and follow all of the guidelines, all of the criteria. So if you look at the word count, it's 129 words. Yeah, 129 words, which is just what we need. So the maximum is 130, if you remember. You don't want to go over that limit much. Well, maybe if it's just one word, maybe that's all right. But if you write 200 words, that's not good. Try and keep it between 100 and 130 words. It was really difficult for me. I'm used to writing longer texts for higher level exams. But here we need to keep it very, very short and simple. So if you feel your language level is already higher, but you need to take this exam, you have to keep it short and simple. You have to make it all shorter. So let's look at the criteria and let's check. Like we are the examiners. Let's check that I've got everything here. So reading for writing is the first criteria. And in this criteria, to get maximum points, you want to use all 4 texts. I put it in brackets in yellow for you to make it easier to understand what the criteria mean, what they want to say by reading for writing. They mean I used ideas from all 4 texts. So did I do that? Let's see. From text A, I used quite a lot actually. Future career. Yeah, well, let me do this. Maybe future career. Foreign university. Yeah, this was about study abroad. Notice that I didn't use the same words like study abroad. I said enter a foreign university. Use your knowledge to speak to people when you travel. Yeah, traveling. And even family background, family members. So I used quite a lot from text A. From text B, that the language trains your brain and you will get better scores in tests and get better at different subjects such as maths. I didn't put down all of the subjects because I just didn't have enough words. Yeah, we need to keep this short. And then tips. So from text D, I've got native speakers and websites. And I've also got listening to songs from text C. Well, not much from text C, but then again, there was only one idea we could take from it. So I tried and put it into my text. So I think I used ideas from all 4 texts. So this is the first criterion, yeah. Criterion number 2, task fulfillment. It means that I talked about all 3 points here. Yeah, the 3 points here that we talked about a lot. That I wrote between 100 and 130 words. Well, I did. I've got 129. Did I write an article for a school magazine? Does it feel like an article for a school magazine? I think it does. It looks like an article. It's got a heading. I write for students. I write something that students can think about, like the fact that they can get better at different subjects. Well, adults are not very interested in this, right? But school students are interested. So I give them information that they can be interested in. I write it for school students. And I try and make it interesting. I ask a rhetorical question. Yeah, I sort of give my opinion. So, and did I use all, or did I write about all 3 points? Well, we already talked about it. My paragraphs here, first of all, secondly, and finally. These paragraphs, each paragraph is about 1 point. Yeah, 1, 2, and 3. So, yeah, I think I've done this task fulfillment. The next criterion is organization and structure. So, did I use paragraphs well? I've got an introduction and I've got 3 paragraphs. And then I have a little good luck. Well, maybe ideally I should have a conclusion, but then again, we only have 130 words. That's not enough words to write a good conclusion. If you have some words left, then try and maybe write 1 sentence that looks like a conclusion. And they also want me to use some link words. So did I use any link words? Well, in fact, I did. For example, here. And I advise you to use these as well. So first of all, secondly, finally, to organize your ideas, to organize your thoughts. And also things like in fact and besides. These ones, well, they are already in pink here, but they are also link words or link phrases. And finally, criterion number 4, language control. So this is about vocabulary and grammar. I tried not to use vocabulary that's too advanced, because of course you can say, oh well, you know too many words. It's easy for you. So I tried to keep it very, very simple, and to show you that you can make a good text even without knowing too many words. So all the words here that are in pink, they are of level B1, like helpful, tips, scores, research. These are all B1 level words. Yeah, in fact and besides, these link words are also here. Taking up language learning, I try to use a take up here as well, instead of, for example, just start. So you try and use phrasal verbs if you can. Yeah, to take up is a good phrasal verb. And it also makes my article not too formal, because I'm talking to school students. I don't want it to sound very formal. I want it to sound interesting for them. So you can do this by using phrasal verbs like take up, and also it shows that you know phrasal verbs, which is also a good point for your vocabulary. You know, like native speakers. In fact, native is shown as a B2 word, but I'm sure you know this word, and they use it in the texts as well. So it's kind of a very common word, but still it's good to use it. Yeah. So, and grammar. Well, as for grammar, for example, here in this rhetorical question, I use the present perfect. Have you ever thought? So that's good to show that you can use different tenses, not only just the present simple all the time. Yeah, and what else do I do here? I use if sentences. If you learn the native language, it will make them happy. Yeah, if you study languages, you will get better scores. If this, then this will happen. This structure, yeah. I use the imperative here. Try and do this. Well, and I use modal verbs. I use can. You could also choose to do this. So overall, I think I followed all of the rules and all of the criteria. So this is an example of what your text might look like if you want to write a good text. Of course, it's not the only way to write this text. There is an infinite number of possible texts that you could make that could give you good points, good scores in this exam. All right, so let me know what you think about my text. Maybe you can suggest some improvements. I personally think that maybe I could get rid of this sentence and talk a little bit more about listening to songs because text C didn't get much attention. Maybe we want to try and talk about text C some more. But then again, this is how I wrote it for today. So it's fine. If you don't understand something here, I hope it's all clear. But if you have any questions, you can ask me in the comments. And of course, feel free to share your texts in the comments. Write in the comments. You can share your ideas. You can use the planning notes that we sort of made together. At least I guided you through this whole process. You can use these notes and you can try and write your own text. And you can send it in the comments under the video. I will upload the recording to my channel, so you can anytime, even if you watch this in a month or in a year, it's all right. You can still comment, and I will be happy to hear from you. You can write your text. So in the comments on my YouTube channel, or you can contact me directly. You can contact me on my social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, or on Telegram. If you're a Russian speaker, then I've got a Telegram channel that's in Russian with some bits of English. If you're not a speaker of Russian, or you prefer to do English only, then welcome to my Facebook and my Instagram. I post there only in English. So feel free to share and ask any questions, and I will be happy to comment on your text and tell you if you did everything right, or if you need to change something. And of course, if you need more personalized help with this exam, if you want me to, talk to you personally through your problems and tell you what you can do, explain some difficult points to you, explain how to work with other types of tasks. We know that here, this is an example, this is writing an article, but there are also other types of text they can ask us to write. So if you need any help with this exam or with any other English exam, then you can also sign up for my lessons. You can have lessons with me personally on Zoom. Well, of course, personal lessons, individual lessons are not free, but it's possible to arrange if you're interested. So please contact me about that anytime as well. So I will be happy to help you pass this exam or any other English language exam. So this is it for today. Next time, in a week, next Tuesday, we are going to look at the next task. Oh, by the way, they have an interesting note here. This is quite good as well. Let's just quickly have a look. When you have finished your article, spend 2-3 minutes reading through what you have written. Make sure you have colored all 3 bullet points. Remember to check how you made use of the reading text as well as language and organizational writing. So what is this all about? It's they ask you to check one more time, and this is very important when you are in a real exam. Read through your text again. Sometimes you notice mistakes. Sometimes you spelled something wrong. Sometimes you use the wrong tense and you realize that, oh, this is not how we say it. It happens, and it helps a lot So try and read through your text before you give the paper to the examiner. Yeah. But anyway, that was just a little comment. Next time we are going to look at task 4, extended writing. So it's a bit of a different task because we are not going to have any ideas. Yeah, in task 3 we base our text on ideas from other texts. In task 4 we don't have any ideas. We need to come up with our own ideas. We need to think of ideas. And I'm also going to show you how to do that next time, next Tuesday at the same time at 6:30 London time on my YouTube channel. So I hope you enjoyed it. Just to check, no questions in the live chat? No questions. All right, so I'm saying goodbye to you then. See you next week. Have a good week. Bye bye.